All right, I'm so glad that we have so many people here today. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to be presenting another one of our soft skills presented by Career Services, the hard case for soft skills, and I am just so excited to be here. How's everybody doing tonight? Got a lot of people participating. I want to welcome you all and introduce myself. I'm Brenda Brinkerhoff. I'm one of the Career Services advisors here. So just to let you know, we have a couple other career advisors here. We've got Holly Picorni in the room with us, and we have Chandra in the room. She goes by Shandy. And if you have any questions that I'm unable to cover or I haven't been able to see your message come through, there is a lot to cover in today's presentation. So if you want to go ahead and privately message Holly or Shandy, you just go ahead and click on their name, and then you can do a private message just to them. That way, if it's not on topic with what we're going through the slide presentation at the time. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's Landria. I was thinking Shandy and Holly was with me today. Sorry, Landria. I'm sorry about that, hon. All right, so Holly Picorni and Landria are in the room with us. So yeah, you would be able to message Landria or Holly individually and have a little chat with them. So if you'd like to contribute to the conversation where we're at in the slideshow presentation, then please do so in the chat bar. That way I'm able to see it too, and I'll be able to read through some of the things that you're contributing, because I really do like to have a lot of interaction. Now if you have questions that maybe are off topic, you might want to wait till the end. There will be time just for questions, and absolutely take notes, because there is a lot to cover, and then that way you could go back and review some of your notes. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first of all, I always like to go back to the whole reason that we do things here in Career Services. A lot of people wonder what it is that Career Services even does. Well, a lot of what we do is give the career-driven advice. We educate you on how to build your own personal brand name, and we provide tools such as networking and communication skills. Our goal is for you to obtain employment in your chosen field and receive the highest salary possible. So kind of consider us your career coach. We provide employment opportunities for you, and we have Career Services here dedicated to your personal and professional growth. A lot of people have asked me what that actually means. You might say, what is professional and personal development? Well, from a definition with businessdictionary.com, it says that it's basically acquisition of skills and knowledge for career advancement, which encompasses all types of learning opportunities that range from your college degree that you're obtaining right now to formal and informal coursework that's in a learned situation through practice, through consultation, coaching, mentoring, and reflective supervision, which is why we offer soft skills resources to begin with, is to help you with that kind of growth. Hi, welcome, Dee. We're just getting started now. I wanted to just kind of go over the differences between what hard skills and soft skills are, because many people don't even understand what each of them are defined as. So businessdictionary.com again says hard skills are about a person's skill set and ability to perform a certain type of task or activity, such as your education. But the soft skills are personal attributes that are often described by using terms associated with your personality trait, the ability to be practical, and to just genuinely like other people. It's often said that hard skills, your degree, will get you the interview because you're qualified for it, but you absolutely need soft skills to get and keep the job. So this is our fourth webinar in the soft skills series, which is number 4 of a series of 12 total presentations that last anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour each, and hopes that these will aid you to improve your career and job readiness. All right, so today's topic is going to be on problem solving. It has actually been long assumed that employee skills are just naturally occurring, but in fact, they're not. In fact, businesses are only just coming to the realization now that their employees lack the soft skills needed. So we'll be touching on each of these subtopics that you see listed here, and we'll go ahead and get started with proactive thinking first. Oh, is that right, Lynn? Yes, it's the end of your month. Oh, congratulations. That shows a lot of endurance. So on to proactive thinking, which is good, right? Most of the available literature that's on being proactive with leadership and effectiveness in the workplace, they support the idea that leveraging our human capital by encouraging them to behave in a proactive way can improve your performance at work. It also looks as if we're also able to recruit people to make performance judgments based on at least part of our perception of what proactivity is. A recent study actually found that both men and women were more likely to get an interview when their reference letter emphasizes activity or proactivity rather than socio-emotional type of behaviors. So for many people, proactive thinking, it comes second nature, but for many of us, we actually struggle with this kind of thinking. So the majority having this problem perhaps is due to a set of your beliefs about the appropriate thinking in the workplace, created through your culture, perhaps how you were raised, your family life, educational experiences, or an accumulation of all. Not to say that they don't come from your work experiences as well. So proactive people want to be heard. They want their contributions acknowledged. And if they feel their contributions will fall on deaf ears, then they're actually less motivated to be productive, and that tends to make an employee suffer. Proactivity is something that is commonly touted as a routine to improve decision-making and performance. Yet it can be a two-edged sword. It actually helps to monitor your thinking. Are you receptive or are you a proactive thinker? Do you see proactive thinking as a threat to your control or authority or status? Well, we're going to go ahead and look at 6 ways that you can be a more proactive thinker. So I'm going to go ahead to the next slide. Oh, forward thinking. Forgot that one. So first of all, I wanted to bring up this quote that's here. Successful people keep taking action. They may make mistakes, but they don't quit. And then we can't control everything. So I like that one too. Being proactive means you focus on things you have control over to make things better. So the first one in the 6 is predicting. This develops foresight and helps to anticipate future outcomes. The next one is prevent. Take control of potential obstacles to overcome them before they turn into roadblocks. And then the third is to plan. Look ahead and anticipate long-term consequences and avoid the here and now type of thinking. And then participate. You want to get involved, be an active participant, and not an idle observer. And then lastly, perform. Take timely, effective action, and don't procrastinate. Well, it looks like I've got some comments here. Be considered, would proactive thinking be the same as critical thinking? It can be. It's a little bit different. I'm going to go over critical thinking when I do the segment on, I think, overcoming conflicts. So we'll talk about that one a little bit later. But they are a little bit different. You could Google search the differences between critical thinking and proactive thinking. Okay. Adaptability and desire. Yes, exactly. And that's why I ended it in the perform, to take timely, effective action, because it's the desire to take action. Yeah, and procrastination is the absolute worst. So if you want to be a proactive thinker, you literally have to set your goal and your sight in mind of where you want to be and take action, and literally it's the opposite of procrastination. I wanted to move on to office relations. We've got a lot more coming up here. I wanted to start with this quote from John Donne. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. So basically, we are all together as one. You don't have an I in the word team. So office relations are one of the most important things, actually. This quote is certainly true when it comes to your work environment, especially in an office where you have many other colleagues who you see every single day. And to get in on your chosen area of work and enjoy what you're doing, it's important to create the positive relationships with those that are around you. I actually have 8 proven methods that work and creating positive work relationships if you give them a solid effort. The first one would be yourself. So while it's important to be professional, it's also very important to be yourself at work. It's difficult and ultimately unsatisfying to create positive relationships by pretending to be something that you're not. Be natural and put your best foot forward. Many times I've seen people get further in the workplace because they are not afraid to show their true personality and what they are capable of. And then the second thing is to treat people equally. Even our managers are human. Putting someone on a pedestal makes it harder for you to approach them and be yourself. So just be natural. Don't be afraid to speak up and say what you think. Also, be aware of how you treat other employees. Be respectful, but treat everyone as a peer, and don't think of yourself as lower or higher than anyone else. It will help your self-esteem and make interactions with you more fun and positive, making you more approachable. Getting caught up in a job title and hierarchy takes the fun away and the human element out of work and makes it difficult to create the honesty and the positive relationships. So then 3, stay out of politics. Make it a practice to stay out of the politics if you can. Of course, sometimes this just isn't possible, but as a rule, I recommend trying it. It will save you getting caught up in negativity, misunderstandings, and the crossfire, and will earn you respect from those that are around you. In my experience, politics are often born out of petty issues and personality clashes. Do your job to your best ability and remain professional and positive to those that are working around you. Also, number 4, I would say is to be friendly is one of the most important. Being friendly and pleasant and being around everybody that's with you, it makes life just easier, whatever your job is. Don't be one of those people who think that they have to be cutthroat with those around them in order to advance in their career or to be a good manager, for example. Good old-fashioned manners go a long way, and the people you work with will be more willing to help you out when you need something if you're pleasant to them. So be consistent and don't just do this when you want something, though. Your colleagues will definitely start seeing straight through that anyway, and you'll come off as phony and fake. Being aware of your own moods is also really important. I've worked with people who are great colleagues, but they're terrible to be around when things aren't going well for them. So learn how to manage your stress and deal with challenges effectively. It will benefit you and make it a little bit easier for the people that you work with as well. Right, stay away from negativity, Amanda. Yeah, and I can say it again. Okay, great. I love all of the feedback I'm getting from you guys. All right, so number 5 is to be thoughtful. Being thoughtful doesn't take a lot, but it pays dividends. A manager who checks in with a member of staff who seems quieter than usual is being thoughtful. An employee bringing cookies to share is a big thoughtful. Andrea, thank you for last Friday's cookies. Or was that Monday? It was yesterday's cookies. Thank you. A CEO who recognizes an employee's contributions is being thoughtful. And a little bit of thoughtfulness goes a really long way to show people around you at work that you really care about them and that they're not just employees or colleagues to you. Everyone likes you and they appreciate you because you think of them as your work family is what we call it at work. Oh, I love the experiences you're sharing here, Calvin. Oh, great. All right, thank you so much. All right, and then enjoy your work. Obviously, it's much easier to be positive when you're enjoying what you're doing. Try to enjoy your work as much as possible. Obviously, nothing is fun all the time, but you can focus on making the best of your job, and it will help you feel positive, and in turn, it will foster positive relationships. And then, of course, number 8, add value. Add value to your workplace. You can be the friendliest and the happiest person in the workplace, but if you're not getting your job done, someone else will have to pick up the slack. Think of ways in which you can help your company and your coworkers. There's something incredibly positive about someone who is thinking about what they can do for others. We have all heard stories about people who didn't have qualifications or experience and who have wowed their way into a job by making themselves indispensable. So we'll be that person. All right, so that's what I had on office relations. And then we're moving on to the next topic. These are going to get a little bit more intense, so take your notes. So starting with handling the unknown, I went ahead and started this with a quote from H.P. Lovecraft. He says, "The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown." So I wanted to bring that up because as we're starting to talk about the positive relationships you can build and the proactive thinking that you can display at work, it's very important for us to start dealing with the real issues, and that is the unknown, which happens more often than not at the workplace. So what I wanted to do is actually just share this video with you. Everybody turn up your speakers, and if you happen to be on a smartphone, you may not be able to see this. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy the link here in the bottom. And then you could go ahead and go to it if this doesn't work. But I'm going to go ahead and click play. So I'll turn my mic off. All right, I love the part where he said it's the constructive use of pessimism. Whereas a lot of people wonder why we have certain types of emotion and thought patterns. Pessimism can be very much utilizable if we're using it in a constructive way, and that is to anticipate change. So that really did flow very well into our next topic, and that is change. Yeah, he did mention some really great information. Keep these links, so if you ever want to go back to him, you could see some of the other things that he also has little video presentations on, and this continue to be able to grow. And I have a whole list of where I have all of these resources coming from at the very end of this presentation. So if you ever want to go back to the recording on Shark, you can always write those down or rewind and fast forward and whatever you need to do later on. So if any of you had a problem with the YouTube link, I did put it into the taskbar. Here it is again. You'll just have to watch it afterwards. A lot of times if you're on your smartphone or iPad or whatnot, it's just not going to work. So going ahead now, moving into dealing with change, that's our next topic. And so we're really going to get into the meat of things here. Many of us desperately crave change at work, and yet we're uncomfortable and terrified when it actually occurs. But change is inevitable and necessary for businesses to survive and thrive. So you'll need to learn how to overcome those fears. The main factors: fear of failure, fear of success, fear of looking stupid, and fear of the unknown. We're creatures of habit, and changes at work move us out of the comfort zone. Depending on how we view the change and how it is presented to us by management, it can be stressful and as well bring up a variety of fears. Changes at work are among the top life stressors that anyone can experience. How we thrive is through routine and predictability. It gives us a sense of control. But when there's a big change, we're suddenly thrown into a state of uncertainty. So for most employees, response to internal changes in their work environment with nervousness and resistance, because that's just what we're used to doing. And for most of us, it raises the questions about, oh no, is my contribution not going to be enough now? And they associate with this change negativity. And it doesn't take much to change us and make us a little bit nervous. Even little subtle ones can rattle us. So what type of changes really scare employees? I imagine most nerve-wracking change would be rumors of a layoff, or perhaps a sale of the company. Things such as a reorganization, changes in your management, exactly, Dee, and changes in a job responsibility can set off alarms that may signal that your job may be at stake. New management sets off a lot of different anxieties. Will I like my new boss? Will my boss like me? Will I be valued for what I do? Will I have a say in any of the decisions? Do I have to start from square one providing my worth again, or will I be respected? Right, they're all really good questions that people have to ask themselves when they're going through big changes with management. And that's all very perfectly normal and healthy to be a bit fearful of workplace changes. In fact, it's quite normal to feel nervous and feel upset when things go out of your control. So the unhealthy part occurs with inappropriate or unhealthy responses. We are wired to respond to change and uncertainty by getting primed to be more alert, and this can translate to anxiety. But don't let it go that far. If you are busy stressing over unlikely scenarios about your job, you're missing important information about what people are expecting of you, what you actually can do to learn and master the challenges of the new situation. So don't get sidetracked. You will be missing out on important information if you do. So then how do we deal with that change? There's 12 different ways in helping us to deal with change that I wanted to share with you. All right, so change involves conversation, absolutely, Manuel. We're going to talk about that one in a minute. Acknowledge the change is a really good way to start, though. The first, most important thing to do in the presence of unsettling change is just to acknowledge it, recognize it, accept it, that it will be the first step towards managing it. Secondly, acknowledge your fears. When you fear change, write it down. Write your fears on a paper so that you have them in an objective format, and you can just stop dwelling on what they are. And then go through each one of them and jot down what you would do in the event that fear came to pass. Knowing you have a backup plan can defuse, and your emotional responses can defuse as well. So also, you want to accept your feelings and seek support. When you're going through a transition, it's natural to feel uncomfortable. And depending on the change that you're going through and you're coping with, such as a loss of a coworker, maybe a project, maybe loss of prestige, or simply your predictability routine, you may be experiencing a variety of fears. Expect and accept your feelings and reach out to others to share your experiences with you, and also share your reactions and your emotions. Talking with your colleagues, your partner, and your friends will make you feel better and remind you that you're not alone. What I like to do is also designate worry time. because worrying interferes with productivity, mood, and morale. So don't let it spill over into every crevice of your workday. If you're worried about the changes, designate a time each day when you're going to focus on those fears, preferably outside of the workday if possible, but also use that time to overcome those fears and make that time productive as well. And then, like you were saying, Manuel, communicate. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Follow it up with more communication. Communication can be an afterthought or passed off onto someone else, but periods of great change require an intentional, concerted effort by all leaders and employees to focus on great communication, and any gaps in communication get immediately filled by rumors. If employees are effectively communicating their fears to other coworkers and leaders within the organization, then those concerns can be addressed and calmed through more communication. Yes, absolutely, Calvin, interpersonally, and can build and learn and adapt together. And that's exactly what this is. The whole unit is changing, so everybody needs to work together. Obviously, stay positive. And I know that's harder done than said, because fear can come from creating negative or even catastrophic scenarios about the future. But in other words, your anxiety and consequential fears largely resolve from how you view the change, so your attitude. What are your negative beliefs about this change and how you handle change? Think of past situations when you had to deal with change. Ask yourself questions about times you've successfully navigated change in the past. What was that situation? How did you handle that? What worked for you? Did you get support from your friends? Did you take good care of your health in the meantime? Were you active in seeking solutions? What personal qualities did you exhibit that helped? Were you persistent, patient, insightful, or brave? So those are all ways for you to stay positive. Okay, some of your comments are funny. Know how transitions work and have realistic expectations. When you jump into a swimming pool, it doesn't feel so good right at first. Then, after a few minutes or so, assuming that you stay in the pool, it starts to feel better. So did someone warm up the pool, or did we just adjust? We have the capacity to adjust to change, but that takes time, and we're going to talk about that next. Be flexible. Be flexible and available to take on any new task that might accompany the change. Keep a positive outlook on the opportunity to take on this new challenge and exceed expectations, even if you don't like something new in the system. If you are flexible, people will want to work with you, and there's a greater chance for that change. Also, get involved with the change. If there's a new health plan coming and you're afraid it won't be what you need, volunteer as part of the committee so that you can be part of the structure of the new benefit. If there isn't a committee, propose one. If you're helping to drive the change, you'll understand the rationale, and there will be nothing to fear at that point because you're involved in part of it. Also, we always are working on this, reducing our stress. So one very effective technique to reduce workplace stress is meditation, and that's why I've got this gentleman here in the picture. It only takes a few minutes, and it can be done right at work. If you don't have a private office, you can meditate in your car or even in the bathroom. Whenever you're feeling tense, anywhere you can be alone and uninterrupted. Regular meditation will make you feel more calm, relaxed, and peaceful. I recommend you practicing this in the mornings and in the evenings whenever your anxiety spikes throughout the day. I like that. Yes, candles and soft music, a little bit of stretch maybe, exercise right. So then also, what we want to do in the workplace is increase our value. Take the time to know how valuable you're perceived as being a part of your organization. Then make the effort to find ways to become more valuable. Valuable employees typically get through changes unscathed or even better than they were before. And then finally, the last one. Keep working. Sometimes in reorganizations, it takes some time before the scope or even specifics of your job are clearly defined. Do what you can. Work will give you a sense of purpose and accomplishment, and it will be your part of keeping morale up during the reorganization period. And I really like that part too, is keeping the morale up. You can be a part in that, because if you become part of the rumor spilling and the negativity, then everybody's going to have a hard time with this adjustment. When life gives you lemons, who said that? Oh, Calvin, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And oranges, make orange juice. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Oh, helps to, let's see, what were you saying there? D, also helps to take a walk away from the situation, right, and then return to it with a clear mind and better focus. That's why I mentioned the car or the bathroom. I know that's kind of weird, but you know you'll be alone there, and no one's going to come disturb you. So sometimes it is good to just walk away. Great, great comments, guys. Thank you so much. So I've got this next segment on flexibility and adaptability, and this is actually the last part I had planned for you guys tonight. This is the website right here. On the matter of flexibility and adaptability, we kind of touched on those a little bit with the change segment and the unknown. This YouTube video is in regards to millennials and the communication styles. I hope it makes you laugh, and at the same time I hope the point gets across. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my mic off again and start this one up. Hold on. All right, I saw that video and I just thought, perfect. Because honestly, it goes over the communication skills. It goes over how in this generation, we've got to look at who our audience is and see if we're being flexible for them, if we're adjusting for them, if we're adapting for their types of communication skills. It goes right along with the unknown, you know, going out there and trying new things that we haven't done before. Dealing with the change and creating a positive environment in office relations and having that proactive thinking. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of that. What we had learned today in problem solving was all five of those different areas. I really enjoyed having you guys here for this presentation. This is the time if you have questions. I'd like to answer those. Anyone that's attending the recording, we've already taken attendance of the live people here, but if you're attending the recording, only Salt Lake Online students and students of Stevens-Henager Independence University will get certificates. For those watching the recording, go ahead and email here Online Career Services at Stevens-Henager, and I'll put that in there for anybody. And then tell me which recording you listened to, what date you listened to it, and give me a little bit of something about what you had learned in today's presentation. Does anybody have any questions? Stick with me because I've got resources coming. I don't want anybody leaving just yet, okay? So let's all right. Oh yeah, okay, so you guys were talking about the communication stuff. That's right. All right, so no questions. Let's go ahead and go on then. So I wanted to just let y'all know that we're going to have another one May 20th. I'll be presenting on Professional Attitude Development Part 1. Now this is one that I've been reading some books on because I really want to hit hard attitude. For additional resources, just keep watching. First of all, I want to just show you the calendar for the year. You'll see May 20th has that first part, and then there's the second part in June. And then we'll go through conflict management, professional communications, which is a lot of nonverbal writing skills, leadership and teamwork, self-improvement, and personalization in your job search. So there's a lot of new topics here this year that we didn't have in the past years. All right, and then here are the references. You'll see the videos are on there and every source that I'd gone through today. There's actually 8 different sources for the information that I presented on here today. And then I want everyone to keep a note of the professional development series. It's on YouTube. There's the website right there. And there's 22 total videos in the professional development series. And I just encourage you to all go out there. They're not a certificate series, so you don't get certificates for attending or for viewing those on the recording. All right. And then also there's the first 3 recordings from this year showing on Shark. If you like to watch the old series, you can go to 2013 archived or 2012 archived, and they're also showing there. So basically 2013 is a redo of 2012. Okay, so if you watch any of the recordings, you're going to get a certificate, but 13 is just a redo of 12, so it wouldn't matter which one you did. And then, of course, these new 3 that we have this year are revamped, and they're totally different in a lot of ways. So click on the link there at the top, click on videos and webinars, scroll about halfway down the page, and you'll see those come up. How many do you need to view to get it? Each one of them gives you a certificate, and each one of them will have instructions on how to obtain your certificate. So you just have to watch it all the way through to see how. Yeah, and you get a certificate for each one, right? But like I was saying, 2013 is the same as 2012. It's just redone, so I almost think just watch 2013. You're welcome to watch all of them, though. There's 24 out there between the 2 years. All right, and then last but not least, this is our department. Locate your advisor and keep their contact information information handy. We just look so happy right there. If you need to find out who your career advisor is, go ahead and email online.careerservices again, and we'll be able to find out who you're supposed to be working with. All right, so that's it for this evening. Looks like I cut it a little bit shorter than I had thought. I thought I was going to go over tonight too because I had a lot of information. But is there anything that you guys wanted us to go back through with you? Any questions that you had? You guys want me to put those movies back up again? I can put those movies back up. Yeah, and just so everybody knows, our Career Services Department has undergone some changes and we actually don't have the printer right now to do color copy certificates. So that's where we're having the delay in your certificates. I should have had these things out a month ago. So I apologize for the delay in that. We are working towards getting the printer up and running, I hope tomorrow. If not on Friday, I'll be able to print those and get those out. Absolutely, Calvin. If you're ready to start getting involved, then let's go ahead and get you set up with your career advisor. Go ahead and email onto online.careerservices and put your request in to find out who that is if you don't already know. And honestly, Holly Percorni is the one who ends up going through that email. She will distribute it out to the right person. Yep, Holly's got you set up. Okay, let's see. Okay, if you're going to be moving in a month, if you have that address, get it to us in that email and we'll update it. Definitely let us know what your address is if you ever email in needing a certificate. Yeah, anybody emailing in for a certificate, please give us your current mailing address where you want that certificate to be mailed to. Okay. Okay, so you want to do this email right here, online.careerservices. Do you see that, Shannon? And then, did you guys want me to put up those movies again or do anything that you guys missed out on last? I can go back through the okay. All right, you guys are great. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed having this time with you guys today. Hope everybody has an awesome night, and we'll see you again in 4 weeks.